Hello and welcome to my channel Polyglot Reading. My name is David and usually I talk on this channel about classics and other books worth reading, primarily books of the German, English, Italian, Yiddish and French literature. Today is a slightly different video. It's Tag Tuesday, so I'm doing a tag that was created by Heather from the channel Heather Reads. So thank you, Heather, for developing this tag and for tagging me. It's the winning title tag. So it consists of 8 prompts. They're asking questions about specific qualities of book titles that made you choose or buy this particular book. Let's go through them one by one. The first prompt is, what was a particularly funny title that made you select a book? For this prompt, I've selected a book by Umberto Eco. The German title is Wie man mit einem Lachs verreist, How to Travel with a Salmon. I think Umberto is well known internationally, mostly for his novel The Name of the Rose, but he also wrote a couple of other books, and he also wrote many other short stories or little essays, and this is a collection of more satirical, grotesque essays. I like the title, a funny title, How to Travel with a Salmon, and there are several others, like How Not to Know What Time It Is, How Not to Use a Mobile Phone, How to Justify Your Private Library, How to Treat Taxi Drivers, and so on. And they are all written with a tongue-in-cheek approach, very funny. I don't know whether there's an English translation of this collection available, but yeah, you may give it a try and look for it. It's really very, very funny. The second prompt is a book with a shocking title. For a shocking title, I have selected a book written by the German author Alfred Döblin. I think he's mostly known for his novel Berlin Alexanderplatz. There's also a cinema adaptation or several. But he wrote many other books, and among those books there's this one. The German title, Pardon wird nicht gegeben. The English translation would be no quarter will be given. So it's a military expression that means that in combat you will not make prisoners. Everybody who is captured will be shot. And I think this is a shocking title. And actually the German title, Pardon wird nicht gegeben, is a direct quote from a public speech, from an outrageous public speech that the last German emperor, the last German Kaiser, Wilhelm II, gave in 1899 or the year 1900, when there was this Boxer rebellion in China, and German troops were about to be sent to beat down this rebellion. And then he mentioned this, German soldiers, you have to be men of no mercy and to kill everybody. And I think that's also Men of No Mercy is actually the title of the English translation of this novel, which is available on the market. And this book itself does not talk about this Boxer rebellion. It talks about the 1920s, the years of a real very difficult economic crisis, and the struggles of a mother in Berlin, and the mother and her sons, how to make ends meet and to survive in these challenging times. The next prompt is about a book with a title that sounds like a poem, and for this prompt I've selected the collection of short stories by Sheridan Le Fanu, In a Glas Darkly. I know that In a Glas Darkly is not from a poem, but it's actually a biblical quote from one of the letters of the Apostle Paul. But I think this has some poetic qualities. It actually sounds as if it were taken from a poem. And I think Sheridan Le Fanu is well known for his novel Uncle Silas, a sort of a mystery novel, the sort of a closed room riddle. But this, he also wrote a couple of stories, short stories or novellas, also of the disquieting horror type. And yeah, this is a collection, very nice edition by the Folio Society, a publisher in the UK. And I think this title, In a Glas Darkly, it sounds like taken from a poem. Let's move on to the next prompt. A prompt is a title that made me ask questions. For this prompt, I've selected the book by Willa Cather, Death Comes for the Archbishop, or this is a German edition, a translation translates into Der Tod bittet den Erzbischof. Death comes for the Archbishop makes me question, so what's very special about this? An Archbishop is a person who, by his profession, should be well accustomed to deal with the matters like the end of life, like death. So you should not at all be surprised by being visited by death, or by confronting death. So it made me question what's behind that. And I won't tell you any more about the plot. You will have to discover yourself. Next prompt is a book with a heartwarming or homely title. And for this, I've selected a book by the Italian writer Susanna Tamaro. The Italian title is Va dove ti porta il cuore. The literal translation would be Go Where Your Heart Takes You. I think the English edition is actually published under the title Follow Your Heart. And this really is also a heartwarming story. It's a story about a grandmother who writes a series of letters to her granddaughter, confessing or explaining the different choices, the good ones and the bad ones that she has made in her life. And there has been a period of alienation between the grandmother and the granddaughter, but in the past there have been times where they have been very close to each other, and the grandmother wants to reconnect to these times past because she knows that her end is approaching. And I think this is really a heartwarming title and also a heartwarming book. Let's move on to the next prompt. I think it's prompt number 6, a book with a title that is an unusual combination of words. For this prompt, I have selected the book Atemschaukel by Herta Müller, the winner of the Nobel Prize in 2009. She's a German writer in German language, but she grew up as part of the German minority in Romania. And this book also is about the sufferings of some people belonging to the German minority in Romania under the system of Stalinistic oppression. And the combination of words Atemschaukel, it's a combination of two words, Atem, breath, and Schaukel, that means swing, so like the swing on a playground for children. And so this is a very unusual combination. It doesn't make any sense. Swing, breath, swing. So I think that's also the reason why the English translation was published under a completely different title. The title of the English translation is Hunger Angel. That's a book that really caught my attention due to this unusual combination of words and merging of words into a new word, into a new single word that seems to be made out of really elements that do not belong together or do not get along very well together. The 7th prompt asks for a fantastic title. And for that prompt, I have selected the book by the French author Théophile Gautier. The German title is Der Roman der Mumie. I think the English translation was published under the title The Romance of a Mummy. I think that title sounds like something fantastic. The Romance of a Mummy. It's a story of a researcher finding an old papyrus that tells the love story of persons in ancient Egypt. And this papyrus is found in a grave, in a tomb that has not been ravaged by robbers. And there's a mummy that seems not to be old at all, but seems to be almost alive. And it is a fantastic story with a sort of fantastic title. The last prompt is about a title that sounds like something impossible or contradictory. And for this prompt, I have selected a collection of plays and stories by the Polish writer Mitkiewicz, Stanislaw Mitkiewicz. And the title of this collection is Verrückte Locomotive. That means crazy locomotive. So I think this sounds like something really strange and impossible. How can a locomotive be crazy? And that's just the title of one play in this book. And this book is a collection of plays and of a number of short stories of Stanislaw Mitkiewicz, a very original Polish writer. I would like to invite you to discover him. I think there's an anthology of his short stories available in English translation, and it goes under the title Insatiable or The Insatiable. Yeah, okay, that's it. That's my collection or selection of titles for these eight very nice prompts. Thanks again, Heather, for tagging me. Usually it's common practice also to tag other booktubers at the end of the video, but I'm not going to do that. I don't think that makes much sense. I'm terribly behind with my production of this video. The tag is more than a month old, so I think everybody who wants to do this tag has already done it. And if not, please consider yourself tagged. If you like the prompts of this tag, so nobody will hold you back from doing a response video on this tag. Having said this, so that's all for today. Thanks for watching. I'm looking forward to receiving your comments. Hope to see you next time. Take care and bye.